Payment of Wages Act 1936. Here we will study the rules for payment of wages. They are under section 3 to section 6. It means section 3, section 4, section 5, section 6. So let's go to section 3. What does it say? It provides who are responsible for payment of wages. Responsibility for payment of wages. Every employer is responsible for payment of all the wages to all the employees he employs. Okay, the employer is responsible. In every other case, the employer will name any person or nominate him. Okay, so that person is responsible to the employer. So such nominate person will be responsible for making the payment of wages. Notwithstanding anything in subsection 1, okay, notwithstanding anything subsection 1, the employer will be responsible if the contractor or the designated or the nominated person fails to make the payment. Okay, then the employer will be responsible. Next section 4, fixation of wage periods. Wage periods are like for how much period a payment will be made. Like the payment will be made like for every day, or they will be made for a week or for a month. Okay, the person responsible under section 3, like the employer or the nominated person, he must fix the periods called wage periods. Okay, the wage periods cannot exceed 1 month. Okay, maximum 1 month can be the wage period. Okay, the payment will be done for 1 month period every month. Section 5 says time of wage payment. At what time the payment will be made? If the employed persons in the industry or factory is less than 1000, then before expiry of 7th day from wage period last. Suppose the wage period is 1 month. Okay, the salary should be given for the period of 1 month. Then the payment of this wage of this month should be before expiry of 7th day, like after the last day of the wage period. This is 7th day, and before the expiry of this 7th day, the payment of wages should be done. For others, it means the persons employed in factory or industry are 1000 or more, then before 10th day from wage period last. Okay, suppose the wage period last here, 1 month period last here, then this is the 10th day. Before 10th day after the last day of the wage period, the payment should be done before the 10th day, before the expiry of 10th day. Okay, if someone is terminated from the services, the payment of wages should be done before expiry of second working day from termination day. If suppose someone is terminated on this day, then the payment of his wages must be done before the expiry of the second day. Okay, first day, second day, before the expiry of this second day, the payment should be done. The second day should be working day, holidays are not included. Appropriate government can exempt the person responsible in certain situations. The employer or person responsible must ensure that the wages are paid on working days. Okay, the payment of wages should be done on working days. Now comes section 6. Payment of wages should be in currency notes or currency coins. What it says, that payment should be done in currency notes or currency coins, not in kind. Not in kind means not in the form of goods or services. Okay, if the payment is being done, it should be done in cash or in money form. Okay, not in the form of goods or services. After taking written authorization of employee, the payment through check or demand draft to bank account can also be done. If the employee gives his written authorization, then the employer can make the payment of wages through check or demand draft to his bank account, to the employee's bank account. Okay, but not in kind means not in goods or services. This was section 6. Now comes deductions from wages. What is the meaning of deduction? Deduction means every payment made by employee to employer. The wages were paid by employer to employee. Okay, but the deductions are made by employee to employer. This is the meaning of deduction. In reality, what happens is the employer deducts the deductions, make the deductions out of the salary of the or the wages of the employee. Okay, the employer make the deductions through the salary. He doesn't need to take it from the employee, he will take it from the salary or wage of the employee. Okay, the deduction should be only in accordance with law. Okay, they can be made only in accordance with law. What are not included in deductions? The increment stop, promotion stop, or inducement stop due to lack of overall performance, or demotion or suspension. The cut in salary or wages due to all of these reasons are not called deductions or not included in deductions. What are acceptable deductions? The fines, if the fine is endorsed by the state government or recommended authority. Okay, then the fines can be deducted from the salary or wages, and guidelines must be observed when putting fine on someone. The deductions can be made for absence from duty. Okay, if the worker or employee is present on work spot but not working without appropriate explanation, then also the deduction can be made. If the employee does some damage or loss, okay, but the employee should be given chance to clarify the cause and explanation of the harm. Okay, and employer should record this loss or damages or deductions in his register. The damages or loss should be directly attributable to his neglect or default. It should be his default or his neglect, not someone else. Okay, if the employer provides some services like house accommodation or other amenities to the employee, then he can make deductions for it in their wages or salaries. Or he has made any advances to the employer has made any advance to the employee or workman, then also he can make deductions for recovery of advances like advance payment and overpayment. Okay, he can make deductions for the recovery of loans granted. He can make deductions for the payment to cooperative societies and insurance scheme and provident fund, etc. Like if there is a contribution which has to be made by the employee or the workman in the provident fund, then the what the employer will do, he will deduct that contribution from the workman's salary and submit it into the provident fund or insurance scheme. For payment required to be made on court order or competent authority order, if some court or competent authority orders that some deduction should be made from a workman's salary or wage, then the employer will deduct that amount from his salary or wage. Okay, so this was payments of wages act. If you want the PDF of labor and industrial law, this PDF, okay, for revision, okay, you can get the link from description or comment box. Next we will do is Workmen Compensation Act 1923 in next video.